Howdy friends, this is Brad Apple. I wanted to share a funny story with you today about Bill Monroe, and it's on YouTube out there. It's under Bill Monroe Stories, and it's the country family reunion that they do in Nashville periodically. And this particular story, Bobby Osborne told it, and I just think it was hilariously funny. According to Bobby, he said the Osborne Brothers were doing the Opry one night, and Jim and Jesse were also doing the Opry. Well, Jim and Jesse's fiddle player couldn't make the show that night, so they got Vassar Clements to fill in with them on the fiddle. And the first thing that's funny is Bobby said that Vassar laid his fiddle case, set his fiddle case where Monroe usually parked his mandolin case, so Monroe come in there, and after a minute he asked Bobby Osborne, and I'll try to do my Monroe sound here. It's not quite the same if you don't try to talk like Monroe, but he said, Bobby, who is that gentleman over there? And Bobby said, who do you mean, Bill? And he said, that guy right over there. And he said, well, that's Vassar Clements. And Bill said, is that right? And Bobby said that Bill proceeded to tell him, said, he's ruined every fiddle player in this town. Bobby said, what do you mean, Bill, that he's ruined every fiddle player in this town? He said, well, they can't play tunes like Katie Hill no more, and none of that. And he said that Bill just kind of went on and on about that how Vassar Clements had ruined all the fiddle players in Nashville. And so finally, Vassar and Bill never communicate. Finally, Vassar goes out of the dressing room there, the Opry dressing room, and Bill's still going on about Vassar's ruined every fiddle player in this town, And Bobby Osborne says Kenny Baker, by that time, he was hearing what was being said, and he was getting kind of irritated about it, walking in front of him, kind of kicking the carpet, and said finally Kenny stopped and he said, well, I tell you, he ain't ruined my fiddle playing, not one bit. And said Bill never said a word. He was kind of just, looking off like Bill would do, And finally, Kenny Baker leaves the dressing room. And Bobby Osborne said Bill Monroe waited until the dressing room door shut, and he was sure that Kenny was out of the room. And he said, I don't care what he says, Vassar Clements ruined every fiddle player in this town. So, once Bill got his mind made up about something, that's the way it was to him, And actually, I've got a video. Butch Robbins is talking about Bill Monroe, what he meant when he said that's no part of nothing. You need to watch that if you haven't already. Kind of talks about when Bill got his mind set on something. So anyway, I thought that was a funny story. Look it up. Listen to Bobby Osborne telling it too. That's the real funny one right there. So anyway, friends, have a good time out there and make some good music. And if you haven't liked the channel, subscribed yet, please do that for me. I'd appreciate that. I'll catch you next time around. Much obliged to you.